Have you seen what's been going on over there in Gaza? A lot of the stories of soldiers doing less than ethical things to prisoners. What's the basis for that? Is it here in the Holy Bible? No, it's not. Especially because we're in the New Testament now. We're not in the Old Testament anymore. God is not dealing with the nation of Israel as a holy nation. Anybody can see that one. They're far from holy. But where did they get this thing from that they have a right to perversion with prisoners of war? Let me show you where they get it. It's from the Talmud. Okay, right here we have it. All right, let me show it to you on the overhead camera. Here you go. There you go. Page 132. Right down there. All right, check this out. But surely there is the allowance concerning a beautiful woman, a non-Jewish female prisoner of war. The Torah allows a Jewish soldier to take such a woman. No, it doesn't. According to some authorities, a Jew may engage in sexual relations with her during wartime. Uh-oh, wait a second. It says up here the Torah allows this. But then down here it says some authorities. Well, wait. If it's the Torah, if it's the Old Testament, the first 5 books of Moses, then why would it say some authorities? Doesn't make any sense. The Talmud overthrows the Scriptures. The Scriptures do not allow this. All right? It's talking about the one place in Scripture talks about the tribe of Benjamin, that they can go to Shiloh, and if they see young girls dancing, they can go and take them and make them into their wives. But it is not saying just anybody out in warfare, anywhere you are, you can do it anytime you want to. That's not what the Bible teaches. All right. The tribe of Benjamin was having hard times with, populating, being repopulated after God judged them. So they needed wives and nobody wanted to give them wives. And that's why that was done. All right. And I'm not saying God was even for that. I'm saying that's why they did it. But it says here, sexual relations with her during wartime. So you can have relations with a non-Jewish female prisoner of war during times of war. Emergency war powers. Sound familiar? And according to others, to convert and marry her as a, quote, concession to the evil inclination. Huh? You can have a concession to the evil inclination? You're giving in to your evil lusts? That's what they're saying here. Because your rabbi said it's okay. Your Talmudic rabbi said it's okay. This allowance is limited to Jews, but non-Jews are forbidden to take a woman in war because of their prohibition against robbery. Jews aren't prohibited against robbery. We'll see that here in a minute. As was explained earlier in the chapter 57a, thus we see that there can be something permitted to a Jew but forbidden to a non-Jew. A little interesting there. The Gemara answers, there the reason that a Jew is allowed to take a woman in war and a non-Jew is not allowed to do so is that non-Jews are not fit for wars of conquest. Okay, God shall enlarge Japheth. I think that's a prophecy of white Japhetic races being very good with wars of conquest, which history proves. Jews were commanded to conquer the land of Israel, but the other nations were not commanded to conquer lands. Really? Where does the Bible say that? Where does the Scriptures say that non-Jews are not allowed to conquer? Where does it say that? Just making stuff up. They're lying. Since the allowance regarding a woman of beautiful appearance was only given in the context of a war of conquest, it could only have been given to Jews and not to non-Jews. Okay? Okay. We just read this. I didn't make that up. That's what the Talmud says right there. So if there's a non-Jew girl and she's over there in Israel or something, she's in Gaza, and the Talmudic Jews get her and whatever. And again, they're not all Talmudists. All right, this is a really radical sect of satanic people that follow the Talmud. But if they're a practitioner of the Talmud, they see a beautiful girl that's a non-Jew and they say, I have to give in to my evil inclination here. Yeah. But now let's look about the thing of them stealing. Robbery is good for Jews, but not for non-Jews. Hello, Wall Street. All right. It says here, but surely there is robbery less than the value of pruta, I guess is how you say it, which is permitted to a Jew, but forbidden to a non-Jew. A Jew is, in other words, is permitted to steal if it's less than the value of a peruta, whatever that is. Jews are ready to waive less than a peruta, and so for them the act of stealing such a small amount is not regarded as robbery. But non-Jews are not ready to waive even the most minute amount, and so for them robbery of less than the value of a peruta is forbidden. So little Mordecai there, you're going through the store, you see a little stick of gum, a little bit something, it's not much, maybe less than $1, maybe less than $5. Just go ahead and steal it, okay? You take what you want, okay? You know what I'm saying? It's not robbery unless you see a non-Jew boy do it. The Denlinger kid, yeah, he's white and things, so you see him, you cry out, he's a thief! Oh, arrest him! Oh, he's a non-Jew, he's stealing less than the value of a peruta, whatever that is. And these are God's people. These are the people that have a right to reject Jesus Christ, huh? Jesus was a bad man and all this other stuff. And yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, I get it. So that's going to be it for this one. Stealing is stealing. I don't care what the value of it is. If you're taking something that does not belong to you and not leaving adequate remuneration, that is theft. All right? Period. That's the way it works. And you will answer to God for it. Both non-Jews and Jews. Okay? Don't forget that.